Welcome back to the MBH Podcast, Money Buys Happiness, Season 5. We have a crazy episode today, but before I get into it, thank you to all our subscribers. Keep subscribing, keep liking, do the duties, comment which guest you want to see next. And today, we have the man in pursuit of $1 billion, Mr. Harvey, and the voice of the people, Mr. Sergio Senatore.
Yes.
How are you, boys?
The boys.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having us on, guys.
Thank you. Pumped. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
I know it was kind of last minute, right? But we kind of had to.
Yeah, we kind of knew we were doing it. And we just snuck it in the schedule a little earlier. That's all.
Right? With everything going on.
Yeah.
Everything going on. It's
we got lots to talk about. Before we jump into it, maybe an intro on Jonathan.
Sure.
Who you are, what you do.
Yeah,
Sergio, we know what you're about now. we know. Everyone knows. But yeah, Jonathan, talk to us.
Yeah. So I'm a textbook entrepreneur. I've been at it for 15 years. And sort of great middle class upbringing, just sort of failed my way to where I am now, and I just kind of figured it out in the last 5 to 7 years. I've owned 10, 12 restaurants. I've currently got 3. They're all in the Port Credit and Mississauga area.
Nice. Had
a couple more, but we lost those through COVID. Shit happens. Yeah. Also in development, media, a few other things. Just turn into a shiny object entrepreneur basically. And then over the last year, I just got rinsed. You know what I mean? Like the government took advantage of a lot of people by putting a lot of really, really bad policies in place. And I was one of those people, and I decided to articulate my thoughts. And then it just kind of spiraled from there. So I just continued doing the same thing.
Was there a certain moment where you're like, I got to get a message out right now?
Yeah, I forget exactly when it was. I think it was in I was still wearing a jacket. So it must have been February or March of 2020. Yeah. And I went online and I wasn't bitching, but I'm kind of like, all right, I've had enough. I'm done. What do I need to do here? How can I help? Yeah. What can I say? And that got enough traction that actually funny Nader Marzouk sent me a video of something. He's like, hey, you know what? Just, while you're on this topic of conversation, here's a bit of information. And then I took that, ran with it, did a couple more, and then it just sort of spiraled from there. But what was interesting before I kind of got to where I am today with the videos is after that first one kind of popped, I was like, okay, what am I going to do with this? Yeah. A lot of people want to sit online and talk. And I think spreading a message is really valuable. But for me, I'm like, we're entrepreneurs, right? It's like, let's take action. Let's do something. So I started this Open June 1st initiative. And I was doing videos every few days, and I had my media team kind of hustling, and we started working with some of my other clients. I had built some casinos, so I was working with those clients because they had some political pull. I got in front of the NDP. I put together not just me, but obviously the team. I'm just speaking as I'm the one saying it. We put together this 20-page report on how to get Ontario open because we had no plan. So I used metrics from around the world, took different countries, different states, left, right leaning, everything, and put it together. And actually got in front of the NDP, and they introduced it, and then we opened on June 2nd. So we actually did have a bit of traction there. And then I took a break because the restaurant's open again. So I was busy. It was great. And now here we are.
Did you think we would come back?
50-50. Yeah. It's 50-50. I when I heard the news and when I understood what was going on again, I wasn't I was neither. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't, just kind of is what it is.
Yeah. I think it's funny, Serge, we recently reposted that video of you from this podcast in the summer, and you called it.
Yeah, that was in August.
While we were open.
Yeah, while we were open, things were bustling again. Restaurants were open, bars were open, retail was open, schools were open. The city was alive again. Mm-hmm. And you posted that video a few days ago before we went into the lockdown. And I couldn't believe it because we all kind of had a hunch that they were letting us have our shine during the summer when the weather was warmer, when the cases were down. Nobody was getting tested in the summertime. No. Right? Everybody was traveling, enjoying themselves at the cottage and working. Yeah. But we had that hunch that come winter, those cooler months, people start getting colds again, the flu again, or getting sick again, that this could happen. And it happened.
Yeah. Another lockdown.
And very quickly, with no regard for restaurants to say, hey, we're thinking about doing this, so they can maybe set up some outdoor stuff, whatever. It was kind of just like, hey, Doug Ford's going to talk tomorrow, and then boom, and then
blindsided, just like the last few times. Yeah. Everyone just got sidelined. And this whole outdoor patio nonsense in the winter, I think a lot of restaurants and business owners kind of went along with that the first time around or the second time around. But this time around, it just really doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I don't see any restaurants, and maybe you can speak on the ones you have. Like, did you guys set up anything?
Not a chance.
Yeah.
No, it's preposterous. Like, how long, like, how drunk do you have to be to sit outside when it's -6?
Yeah.
So no, it's not.
Horrible.
And it's also the cost for the infrastructure. You see,
Exactly.
the thing is, if they're like, hey, we're gonna be doing this for the entire winter and every winter for the next 4 years, I go, okay, I'll make an investment. This makes sense.
Yeah.
Because apparently you can build a tent outside and that's still, adequate. Fine. No worries.
You would think, how many years are we into this now? Going on our 3rd year?
Yeah.
You think John Tory and Doug Ford would have had a plan? You know what? The last 2 years were a disaster. Let's set up some kind of infrastructure to help these restaurants and businesses to survive. Why doesn't the city cover these costs of helping these outdoor patios, get the heat lamps in and the plastic coverings to help these places, but nothing. Not even a warning.
It just feels like they actually don't want to help.
They don't care, and it's not about our
Jonathan,
health.
you just recently posted a letter to Doug Ford.
Yeah.
Talk to us about it.
Well, so the idea of doing the letter is I wanted to take a bit of a different approach to the other videos that I was doing. And I was like, okay, I was just thinking, like, every time I do these lately, I think, how can I resonate with people to try to get them to start seeing things the way we all see it? Yeah. Because there's still, in my opinion, a silent majority.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, this really pissed off a lot of people. So I was like, a lot of people that, like I was saying in the video, sort of did their part, got their shots, maybe got a booster, did the lockdowns, did everything they were supposed to do according to the government's rule. No problem. I'm good with that. So by taking that approach, being like, hey, everybody did exactly what you said, yet here we are again. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure how well anybody could have done in his position, rather, and I'm not sure how much power he really has. From what I understand and what I've learned over the last several months, not quite as much as we are taught to believe.
We think, yeah.
Yeah. So and that's okay, but the reality is, when you make decisions like this, someone has to take responsibility.
Correct.
And people are like, oh, we don't want liberals or NDP or anybody else in there. I'm like, look, forget my political lean. Even if the guy steps out of the way and someone else from the Conservative Party steps up, are they going to do a great job? Maybe, maybe not. But at least they will understand that you have to pay a consequence for your actions or inaction.
They won't make the same mistakes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that was kind of my intention. That's why I was like, this is why I'm going to say this directly to you.
Yeah.
I thought it would resonate with people. People would want to share it and say, hey, yeah, you know what? I have been on the fence, or I have been on the other side of this, but now I'm feeling the other way, and this sort of articulates my thoughts. I was a little revved up, maybe a little more than I needed to be.
But that was the passion, It's hard not to be.
Yeah, but that was why I took that approach.
So do you guys both see a lot of people reaching out to you guys that maybe are waking up in a sort of way, or made some decisions in the past 2 years that they aren't so fond of, and now they want a different approach?
100%.
Yeah, totally agreed. Yeah, I see it a lot in my comments.
Yeah,
I have a rule about not scrolling through comments. Like, if it's not on the first thing, I don't fuck with it, because it's too many. It's not even that. It'll just poison your mind.
Yeah,
I'm not. Take a page out of Joe Rogan's book. I'm like, I'm not engaging too much. You know what I mean? But the ones that I do see, a lot of them are like, hey, I did this, and look, here we are. I'm pissed.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing it more and more. Yeah, absolutely agree.
So these people that are coming forward, right? If they're asking the question like, who's to blame? Who is to blame? Who do you guys think is to blame for, and we'll just speak on Ontario. Who is to blame for Ontario being in the position that they're in today, that we're in today?
I'll take a stab at that. First of all, you got to go from leadership top down. You got to put Doug Ford in the hot seat, and you got to say, what the hell have you been doing this whole time?
Yep.
The other issue that you've got is you've put people in power to make decisions, like Peter Juni, Kieran Moore,
public health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the scientists, doctors, people that were not elected and never signed up to be in a position of authority. They never signed up to wield that kind of power.
True.
Yet they needed the government, or these politicians wanted a fall boy or fall girl, however you want to look at it, right? Mm-hmm. So the error that I think we made really was politicizing objective science. Yeah. Because what happens in politics? Yeah. Politics are dogmatic. You're right, you're left. And it's sort of blind faith. It's almost like religion to me. And I'm like, okay, do your thing. If you have blind faith, good for you. Yeah. So when you take a dogmatic concept like politics and you throw that on top of objective science and public health, what happens? It becomes dogmatic. Yeah. So when the politicians started using these scientists and these doctors to provide answers for what the rest of society should be doing, there's your problem. So again, you got to go to Doug Ford, and I think you got to replace some of the people on the board level when it comes to your Ontario Science Table and your CMOs.
All of them.
Yeah.
Well,
and what are your thoughts on, because I'm having this conversation with a lot of people in terms of who's to blame, and some of the answers I get are actually the people that we've complied this long, knowing that a lot of the information we were getting wasn't adding up, right? So I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts? Serge, what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on the people, more and more people are waking up.
Yeah.
And I see it every day. People are sharing news articles and posts and asking questions. That's the most important part. People are asking questions. But I almost feel like the government wants us to blame the people. I almost feel like they want us to pit each other against each other for having these different opinions.
True.
And I'll never blame the people, because I believe it's all the government's fault.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow.
Because I was at first I was like,
it shouldn't be up to us.
I agree. It's funny because I'm like, we should say that, and I'm like,
I blame the media.
Well, they are leaders, right?
I blame the media.
I agree.
And the government.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First, it's the public health officials. Then it's the government. Excuse me. And it's the media.
Yeah.
The media is the biggest virus out there.
Yeah.
They take those numbers. They take those cases. They take that.
They love it.
That article and just send it out.
Yeah. I was telling these guys, like, I went to go see my grandmother, and she's CP24 on, and there's 25 headlines flying around at all times, and they're all negative.
It's all negative.
Death, COVID, cases, lockdowns, shut the schools down.
No recoveries.
Nothing.
No articles on how to build your immune system or how to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they're closing the gyms.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Yeah,
Insanity.
Jonathan,
Insanity.
I know you mentioned logic a lot.
Yeah.
Talk about logic and how these things have been not logical. Where do you think people's logic has gone? Do you think it's fear kind of clouding a lot of people's judgments?
Yes.
Or do you think that you have to have some sort of certain experience in life or network in life to be able to see things?
No, I think a lot of it is, and I'm not going to go too deep on this, but I think a lot of it is the mass psychosis theory.
Yes.
Unfortunately, when you are in a bad situation and you're driven by fear, what you look for is an individual to pull you out of it, or an organization. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Once you've decided who they are, you are willing to burn the boats. You don't care about anything else. You will stay there and you will stick with that person. And if anybody fights that person, i.e. guys like us saying, what the fuck's going on? Why is the government doing this? People attack us because they've set their opinion straight. This is what it's going to be. So over time, and it's the other thing too, like, over time, I think they get to this point of just being completely illogical. But what happens, and Jordan Peterson's going to say it a lot, but he's so good. He's so articulate. But to paraphrase and butcher, and I apologize, but he goes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away your freedoms inch by inch. And as soon as I get close enough and you push back, I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to push again. And when you tell me to, then I'm going to stop. And then over time, I've made up, 2, 3, 4 feet. Now I'm right in your face. Mm-hmm. And I think what's happened is, you kind of take that idea and you implement one little thing at a time, a little short on logic, but not too far. I'll give you the stretch. I'll give you a stretch. I'll give it to you. And then all of a sudden, the world's upside down and people are just, everything's crazy. There's no logic left. It just was one step at a time.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an interesting take, but it makes sense. And I'm curious, and I mean, like, let's say a year ago, if we're having the same conversation, people are going to slap a label on this and say, these guys are anti-vaxxers, they're conspiracy theorists. Do you think us alleged anti-vaxxers or alleged, conspiracy theorists, do you think we've earned some credit?
I don't think they'll ever give us credit.
Fuck, Serge, come on.
They'll never give us credit. They never will.
Yeah.
What scares me the most is we're in our 4th lockdown and people have become numb to it. Almost like this is normal. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Just another lockdown. Yeah. It's just going to be a few more months.
You're right.
Well, you know what? This one's probably only going to go to March. This is what I hear.
Yeah.
It's probably only going to go to March or April or May.
In the 3rd year.
I don't know about you guys, but I want to thrive again.
Yes.
I want to move forward in life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't want to just be happy with this.
Yep.
I want to.
Yep.
That's what scares me. People are becoming too comfortable with these lockdowns, too comfortable with these restrictions, like it's a part of life now.
Yeah.
It's not.
Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people like half on that side, like super comfortable. They don't give a fuck anymore. They're just like, lock down this, whatever. Give me Serb. I'll fucking play Call of Duty, whatever. It's all good. And then I have another half that are like, bro, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people hitting me up like, yo, I got to get out of here. How do I get out of here? And I never thought we'd reach that point where you're getting volumes of messages saying like, yo, what's the best way to get out of here?
Yeah.
And you're like,
that's scary.
Where the fuck do I live again?
We've been getting a lot of messages being like, hey, how do we leave? That's
like,
the
give
last
me a
thing.
step-by-step
That's
on
the last thing you want to hear when you are, I'm sure guys like us are so invested in this city, and the main message we are receiving, I'm speaking for myself and Ernesto, is how do I leave?
It's true.
That's a scary
it's
message.
either leave or just not care about.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's tough. I'm in the same, I've been in and out every few weeks. I'm like, all right, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
Or I'm like, all right, Texas, maybe Florida.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
You know, the problem that I'm noticing right now is the Western civilization, there's no utopia.
Yeah.
There's no safe place. Like people are like, well, Florida's better. Florida is better. And DeSantis is doing a great job, in my opinion. However, he's fighting off the federal government every single day.
Every day.
And now same thing's happening in Texas. Same deal with Abbott. You know, he's fighting these guys off. And now they've got a guy that lost in the primaries, the Democratic primaries. I forget his name. He's a pretty heavy political hitter. He's trying to jump in and flip Texas now that all these people are moving there. So it's okay for now. The other thing is the states has got a target on their back. They do, from everywhere in the world is waiting for them to finally be weak, and they're weak right now. Mm-hmm. So would I go there? I don't know. I mean, you look at the UK, not great. Look at Australia. Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
Shambles.
Yeah, Central Europe's a disaster.
Look at France right now.
Yeah. And then you look at Canada, and you kind of go, our generation's war might be political and economic, and I'm not sure there's any utopia to run to. And that's why I've kind of put my foot on the brake for now, and I'm like, I guess we'll just stay here and fight and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Damn, man.
We have to fight. This is our country. This is our city.
I agree. It's given us so much. It's given us so much. I think that it's our duty, to fight. And then, like Ernesto was saying, maybe for people that are listening that don't know how to fight, how do we fight?
That's why it's important for guys like you and guys like you to speak up every day and just keep putting out more content. Keep asking those questions and having people on your podcast.
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't have a platform, let's say, what can they do?
I've got a couple of ideas. I think one of the big things is, and this is going to be frustrating, but get into politics.
Yeah,
I'm serious. Like if our generation's war is political and economic, you got to break the system from the inside, and you got to start at the ground. You got to be in your councilman, councilwoman. You got to look for running for mayor. You got to get
involved.
Yeah, exactly. And I do not want to get involved, but it's a serious conversation I'm having. I don't want to do it, but I'm like, okay, if I have the capability of doing it, maybe I have to.
Yeah.
And then over time, because, if it were the Roman Empire, we just cut someone's head off. Fucking sweet. You sort this right out. We're good. But we live in a different time. Yeah. True. And there are only, and I think we've hit that breaking point where things have gone past, our government is no longer serving the people properly. It's not happening. Mm-hmm. But you can't cut people's heads off. Yes. So you have to penetrate the system. And I think that's a really good way to do it. And then, like Sergio said, is more videos, more content, more information, get it out there, have more people talking. There's a lot of power in it. I know sometimes that feels useless, but you spread the word and people know that they are a part of the silent majority, not, this small minority. So I think that's valuable for now.
Very true. We have to become the media.
Yes.
We have to be the ones that are sharing these positive facts and information to people. Yeah. Not just the stuff you see on these big media channels. Yeah. Like the CP24s.
Yeah.
I've seen you both. I mean, both your content gets shared tremendously when it's posted.
It's insane.
Probably that's great. I share a lot of your stuff.
It's great.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
I think we're able to gain and get a lot of information from one another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
I agree.
Once again, we have to become the media.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about it off mic, but they were showing the statistics in American media, and Joe Rogan has 11 million. His viewership's 11 million on average. CNN too, right? So
what does that tell you? The people have faith in people like that and information like that.
Well, because it's not hard to see who's asking real questions and who's not coming in with a bias.
And or a script.
Who's
standing up?
Yes.
The mainstream. That's all. You just don't have a script, and you're a bit more genuine already than any news channel.
And all he's doing is having conversations with these people, and people want to censor him.
Yeah.
Why?
But I like it. He's getting back at them. He's getting back at anyone that's trying to censor him or bring his opinions down.
He's so level-headed, so even-tempered. He's just got the right amount of experience in life. He's such a stud. Yeah. I just think he's doing such a great thing for the world right now, especially Western culture, Canada, the United States. Yeah. But I agree with Sergio. I think the big thing right now is I think that COVID really, really killed mainstream media.
Yes.
I think it sort of exacerbated it. It was already on its way out, but I think, big corporations will use media whether it's right or left, they don't care. They're going to buy your space and they're going to use it. Politicians will use media. They do care if it's right or left. But what's happened is they're both trying to use it at the same time. And the politicians are swarming it with illogical nonsense. And then these pharma companies are promoting everything. And they're basically now the politicians are saying, go to big pharma, even though we're promoting them on our media channels, and this will get you out of this mess. Yeah. So now it just became so obvious to everybody that everyone's turning to these other channels, Sergio's, the Joe Rogan's, stuff like that I'm putting out. And that's going to continue moving forward. I think if you people want to make a difference, now's the time to get into your own personal media channels. For sure. Yes. They're going to blow up in the next 3 to 5 years.
Everyone has an iPhone. Everybody has the ability to promote these facts and this information. So everybody should start utilizing it. It's your own channel. Everybody has the ability to use it and utilize it to the full potential. So everyone should get out there and...
I'm still getting messages like I wish I could post this stuff, but I can't because my fam or my job.
Here's the one thing I don't understand.
We're
in a lockdown. Once again, we're in the fourth lockdown. What are you afraid of? You've already lost your job and you're going to lose it again next year. Speak up. Say something.
It's a lot of social pressure, right? And man, you get someone that's not that strong, they won't say a thing, bro.
You know what? I'll give you a little story. One of my buddies from back home, I grew up up in Aurelia, Peckerwood from the bush. Yeah. My buddy Rob, he messaged me the other day, and he goes, "Oh, it looks like I might lose my job at the fire department. I might lose my job at Remax, because he's a real estate agent and he's also a firefighter." Because he was pushing back against this, and some woman decided to take it upon herself to go complain to both the fire department and the real estate company. Yeah. Wow. Now, he is a solid dude and all around strong guy, mentally, physically, he's a firefighter, fantastic human being, the nicest guy you'll ever meet too. What an absolute beauty. And the nice thing was all I know so far is Remax hey man, we're aligned. We don't care what this bitch says. Sorry, we don't. They just said, hey, look, they go maybe choose a couple different words, just so you're a little more inclusive, but we're behind your message.
Wow. That's amazing.
And I think that's important to share so people do know that, hey, you're not going to get canceled by your company.
Yes.
If you choose words wisely and you stick to facts and keep your emotion relatively subdued, you can't get in too much trouble. Yeah. Otherwise, just lawyer up. Fuck it.
No, you know what? It's funny you say that, actually. I have a friend of mine, also a real estate agent, and he didn't want to get the vax, but he ended up getting it because they told him they were going to fire him if he didn't. He a couple months later, he comes to me. He goes, what's crazy? I go, what? He goes, one guy at my job refused to get it. He goes, fought back a little bit. Didn't even get a lawyer, nothing. Just fought back a little bit, pushed back. They kept him. Yeah. He's like, so I got it. I didn't want it, but I got it to keep my job. And the guy sitting next to me didn't need to get it. And it's like you're saying, people are just scared because they've created this massive cloud of fear that people are even scared to, go to their job and say, I don't, maybe I don't want to get it or whatever the case may be, or I'm speaking out or whatever. But that's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, right? But again, I think there's a lot of social pressure too.
I agree with you.
I think that's truly where it comes into play. And for a lot of people, it's not even maybe friends or on Instagram. A lot of it's coming from internally, family. And I know a lot of people who spent the holidays, families divided. Yep. And that for me is the absolute saddest part.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. It is. It's crazy.
Year 3 and people are still social distancing away from their families.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
You might never see your family again. You might never see your friends again.
Yeah.
When do you stand up for yourself? When do you speak out?
Yep.
I want to talk about complying, okay, and people complying. And there's a lot of messages out there telling people not to comply anymore. How can people not comply or stop complying in their own ways without
without getting or something $500,000 fines? Yeah, which probably won't stand in court, but
yeah. I mean, in my opinion, is I personally did this myself. I just started going into places no mask, right? Slowly, just kind of building up a confidence like that, right? Yeah. And then after that, dude, if someone tells me to put on a mask, you got to move. You got to get away from me fast, bro. Because you're not telling me what to do, bro. So I'm fine, right? But there's people out there that are trying to kind of build up their confidence to counteract this shit, right? How can they do that without breaking the law? The law,
allegedly,
the guidelines. Yeah.
It's a good question.
It's tough, right?
For myself, I own a boutique, a men's fashion boutique here in Toronto, and. During the first lockdown, we shut our doors. During the second lockdown, I stayed open. Mm-hmm. Yep. I had enough. It didn't take me to the third lockdown or the fourth lockdown. Second lockdown, I said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm staying open. I let my clients know. I didn't promote it. I didn't promote it on social media and, make this outrageous video and say, I'm open, come on down,
Yeah.
Some
I'm not
people
complying.
did that.
I did it privately.
Yeah.
And I survived. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
So that's one way of doing it. And
yours was based on survival, though.
That's right.
Yeah. But that's what it is. It becomes a fight or flight thing. Like, what are you gonna do? Especially when your business, your livelihood's on the line. Yeah. Like, how are you gonna act? Right.
I'm not gonna tell anybody that I'm not essential. Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I agree with that. There are little things we do too that we're just not too open about, but we do it. Yeah. We do it to make sure that we can be a little more inclusive.
You got to do whatever it takes to survive, man.
But it is that, like you said, we're not belligerent. We're not outspoken about it. We just do what we do. And I think that goes a long way, because if you go, I think Peter, you posted something and I actually reposted something that Peter said, and I really agreed with that. It's like, people are like, oh, are you going to lock down? Are you going to stay closed this time, Jonathan? It's like, well, yeah, unfortunately, because the fines are so disproportionately harsh. It's $500,000 in a year in jail for day one.
Crazy.
I'm going, and like you said, they very likely won't hold up in court. I got enough stress in my life.
You don't need that.
And not only that, you don't want your liquor license revoked.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. The people that are saying this and that, they don't understand. They don't own a bar. They don't own a restaurant.
No.
It's not that easy.
No.
So what should hospitality do?
Well, okay.
Because there are people saying, like, you should stay open, and then the counter argument is like, our liquor license.
There's a lot of places that are open. They're just not promoting it.
Yeah.
So, you just got to be smart and strategical.
Yeah.
And do what's best for you and your family. And that's it.
I think
get creative.
And this is just my personal opinion, and I don't own a bar or a restaurant or a nightclub, so I don't know 100%, but I think a big pushback and something that would work very well for Ontario and, let's say, Toronto, the GTA, is hospitality. I think hospitality holds a lot of power. There's a lot of powerful people in powerful positions that are owners of these nightclubs and bars and, King Street, Queen Street, whatever the case may be. I've always thought in my head, and again, I've never actually got the opportunity to have these types of conversations with guys like that, but if they all came together, hypothetically, and we're like, no, fuck this. Like, we're done. You're not locking us down. We're not shutting these doors for you guys anymore. And I'm talking, like, let's say 90% of the bars, restaurants, clubs on King Street and Queen Street did that all at once. For me, in my head, I go, that might be the best way.
It sounds great. It sounds like it would really work, and it probably would.
Yeah.
But no one's going to do
These
it.
guys don't want the risk, right? They don't want to take the risk.
You might get one or two.
You're right.
But,
because what are they realistically going to do? Wipe out King of all liquor licenses?
Well, no, but you know what the thing is? You're right. You're all, so far everybody's right. Like, it would work. 100% it would. They would never do anything like that. The problem is the people that actually own the large majority of these things have too much to lose.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the big issue.
Yeah. Like, it's built their whole lives around
exactly.
it.
Are they going to risk it? That's the question,
not.
right?
And the thing is, they're not. A lot of them that are in that they're really like heavier hitters are not that young. They've got kids that are, kind of close to our age. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So
they might be working with investors as well.
Exactly.
Who don't feel the same way.
Yeah,
that's right. That's
true.
exactly it.
Very true.
So it's
just good point.
It's too coordinated an effort with too much to lose for the people at the top. So they're not gonna do it. They're gonna get their subsidies. They're gonna sneak by. They're gonna, you know what they're gonna do if they're smart. And I hate to say this. When everyone else goes out of business, they're going to scoop them up. They're going to take them for pennies on the dollar, and they're going to expand their business when everything recovers. It's going to be the unfortunate fallout of the situation. That's what they're actually going to do.
Okay, but when everything recovers, when is that for Ontario, Canada, Toronto?
Well, I believe, maybe a little unpopular opinion, but I think we are going to have the Roaring 20s again, but I don't think it's going to start till 2024. And I think our recovery plan is pegged to 2025.
That's what these boys said.
That's what I believe. And the other thing
is scary.
It's horrifying.
I don't like that, but I like that you said that, because we always talk about this. We go like, how long? This guy goes, bro, good luck. We're done.
I'm saying long.
And myself and Dean, we're both like 2024 is the time when we think this bullshit might end, which is sad.
Well,
there's 2 more years.
The thing is,
I can't handle it, but
what year are we in?
I don't even know anymore.
Well, there's a lot to consider, right? It's not just about opening your doors anymore. Consider the economic fallout. Consider how much debt each business just took on. Restaurants average $330,000 of debt.
Oof,
and I know it. Yeah, exactly. And we're going to be for a while. Not to mention, God, we printed $350 billion.
Yep.
Our inflation's over is like 4.5%. Like that's on our CPI. Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The price of gas went up 30%. Yeah. This doesn't. And now like the arbitrary inflation of house costs too. Like this doesn't go away for a while. Mm-hmm. Once we open, then we're going to see some real economic damage.
Yeah.
And after that, we'll start to recover.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Okay, maybe not when it goes away, then how it goes away.
Do you think it's political more than anything? That's what I think.
Well, when is Doug Ford out?
Well, there's an election this
June,
right? Yeah, this summer.
Okay, but
like June.
If Doug Ford is in fact a puppet, okay, which Trudeau. I strongly believe.
We have Trudeau.
Yeah.
Replacing Doug is only going to do so much. Like you
if
guys
did
mention, like someone knows someone coming in now. They know that
I believe
they're
the
going to have
next
to take
person will have to do better.
They'll have to, right?
They can't do worse.
I agree.
They can't.
Yeah, true.
Actually, I had this argument with my father. He's an interesting, very, very smart guy, but he's kind of the mind. He's like, you can't put anyone in power that could do anything worse right now. Right. Yeah. And he doesn't even talk about this specifically with Ford. It's like all government. He's doesn't matter who you throw in there right now.
Yeah.
Whether it's here, the States, like they're gonna make it better. They have no choice.
Yeah.
We're at the bottom.
Well, so you think that's what it's gonna require, replacing?
I think that's one piece of it, because you have to be able to pass responsibility off for the machine to keep moving forward, right? Someone's got to take responsibility. Someone's got to be the fall boy.
Someone has to step up to the plate.
Exactly. So someone's going to go build a new political career on the back of fixing this.
Okay.
And they're going to make a couple people the fall boy, fall girl, fall whoever. And that's very likely how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Roman, if you're watching this, buddy, it's your chance. We'll all vote you in. You let me know. But no, okay. Well, I agree with you. I think what surprised me is that, like, you know, we sit here and we say the silent majority, right, of people who probably agree with, like, let's say maybe 50, 60, 70% of the stuff that we're saying. But if there really is that silent majority in Canada, how the hell did Trudeau get back in power?
That boggles my mind.
I think that's
because every person, and like, who knows, maybe my network is small compared to other ones, but every person I know that voted did not vote for him.
The thing is, you're a progressive thinker. We all are. But there's so many people out there that are thinking ass backwards, that are wearing double masks outside, that are already lining up for their fourth dose.
Yeah.
In -20.
That's what's scary.
Yeah.
You know?
And to touch on that, like, I think what surprises me now is that, you know, the media is coming out and showing the numbers, let's say, of cases, and they're saying, you know, the 10,000 cases, you know, 7,000 of them are double vaccinated or fully vaccinated. You know, unvaccinated is maybe 10, 20% of the cases. And yet people still believe the booster is the way out. What's the mindset there? What's it going to take for, okay, let's say these people who are thinking ass backwards, what's it going to take for them
to wake up?
They're
not going to wake up. Those people are never going to wake up.
Yeah.
I think when they do that on the news,
gone.
Yeah. I think when they're doing that on the news and showcasing more cases are vaccinated, I think they're just appealing to their target demographic, which are the vaccinated.
There's a lot of people that have woken up. You know, there's a lot of people that have taken both jabs and have said to themselves, you know what, I'm not going to take that third one. I'm not going to take that booster.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting tired of this. It didn't work. These mandates didn't work.
No.
You know, why are people getting infected at gyms or restaurants where we applied this mandate? So people are starting to wake up in that sense, but there's so many more people that are just you know, glued to that TV screen.
True.
And listen to what
they got to be glued to our podcast instead. Talking about go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say no. I very much agree with that. I think what's happening is, I think earlier you asked the two of us, are we ever gonna get credit for anything that we do? No. What's gonna happen is the only way you're gonna flip those other people over is they're gonna start sort of singing our tune in the mainstream media slowly, inch by inch, and then they're gonna be the heroes.
That's right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So,
I'm not here for, I don't need a gold medal. I got enough trophies on the shelf. Let's fucking go. I just want to get back to making money.
Just
I want to get back.
Yeah,
man. Like everybody's here writing their own story of life, right? And we're all like in the prime of our lives, sitting here, unable to move.
Yes.
Like, you know, you
stuck in the same position.
Exactly. You get in the car, you know where you're going. But we're in the car driving in fucking circles for 2 years. And that is tough when you're a young, driven, like, especially a guy like full of testosterone. Let's go. I got shit to do. And they're just not letting us sort of unleash that.
And they've taken away the gym.
Exactly.
Like, just fucked.
Craziness. Absolute craziness.
It's
How about Doug Ford's daughter?
She's been
You've
incredible.
been in communication, right?
Yeah, she's been incredible. She's been incredible about being vocal.
I love that.
And that takes a lot of courage. You're the daughter.
Ton,
you're the
bro.
daughter of our province's leader.
Yeah.
And you're speaking out.
It says a lot, though.
That takes a lot of credit and a lot of courage.
I agree. I think I can only imagine. I think Christmases are weird at my house right now. I can only imagine it's like the Ford household. Thing. I feel for her. We just started chatting the other day as well. She seems. I really appreciate her approach. Yeah, same, man. Yeah. Like that takes a lot. I wish she was actually getting more coverage and more credibility for it. Because
I think she will.
Yeah, I hope so.
Is she trying to stay low key about it, kind of?
No, dude. I've
she's
seen her
nothing
followers. I seen her followers when she first started like saying some things, and people were like, "Whoa, Doug Ford's daughter's speaking." She was like 2,000 followers. She's like 25K now.
Yeah,
like she's on the rise. Like she's moving up.
I think it's time to get Krista on the podcast.
Yeah, we'd love it.
Yeah,
Krista.
Oh, tight. Good idea.
Please,
let's go.
Yeah, and her husband.
Well, speaking of her husband, I know
he's speaking out as well. He was the one that got fired, right?
He was a police officer. But I actually want to touch up on the police officer that's been going viral in the last few days.
Yeah, we hit him up.
I don't know his name. Sorry, Ernesto. You probably know.
I
don't know if you guys know.
Michael. Yeah, he was actually at dinner with him and his wife last week.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think before he posted this thing. So I've been chatting. Him and I have been chatting for the past few months. Just one of those people that just randomly connected on Instagram.
Yeah.
Super, super nice guy. Such a bro. So cool. Like really, really great guy. And he was kind of battling with this decision back and forth. He's like, "Oh, I think they're going to make us do this." He's like, "I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And then, we finally connected. He came down for dinner. We chatted, hung out for the night, had a few drinks. Absolutely such a solid human being.
Yeah,
such a great guy. And he's just like, "Hey, I gotta, like I said, I gotta step down to stand up. That's it. I had enough." So he was also getting his real estate license, and now him and his wife are just going to be full-time realtors.
Good. Yeah. You know what? They're going to become successful.
Yeah, totally agree.
Sure.
I told him.
Yeah.
I mean, him and his wife both really good-looking people, really personable, just amazing, down to earth. Oh yeah, I think so too.
And the best thing about it is he's probably influenced so many people in his position.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Speak out as well.
Yeah.
And maybe they haven't spoken out yet, but they will.
Well, I messaged him too. I messaged him like, "Buddy, you got to come on the show and just explain what happened." But super genuine guy. He's just like, "Yo, I'm getting like way too much attention I'm not used to right now." So like,
he's going on Sean Avery's podcast soon. And I was like, "Oh, good for you, man." Amazing,
So he's gonna. I guess he's gonna pick it up. But definitely would love to hear about it.
My question to you guys is, what are your thoughts on his approach? Because when Six Buzz posted it, I'm a frequent Six Buzz commenter. I love to get.
I had to unfollow. I had to get out.
I love to get people fired up.
Yeah.
I go in there and I got my notifications on, and I'm the first guy commenting on everything. So like these comments are getting they're outrageous. Some of the stuff I see, but I was commenting like a true Canadian, like a hero. I was saying some stuff like that, like using verbiage like that. Mixed. This one was mixed, and not mixed in the sense of like, oh, this guy's an idiot or anything. People were kind of saying like, well, was this the right approach? Like, or should he have stayed and tried to fight while he was still in that position, or was the best way to speak up by stepping down? Right? And I don't know. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. Do you think his approach was the best way? Do you think maybe he could have taken the approach of sticking it through and trying to fight till the end? What are your thoughts?
I think it was the right move because I think he would have been relatively powerless if he stayed there because of the chain of command.
Okay. True. Fair. I mean, yeah, I guess he at the end of the day, he's in the position he's in, and what more can he do?
And at the end of the day,
he probably tried.
At the end of the day, he did it his way.
Yeah.
And there is no right or wrong.
True.
You know, that's the way he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Totally agreed.
I want to talk about the passports and what you guys think about them, and where you see that going. Do you think that they're going to last, and just the purpose of them?
I think the passports are horrible. You know, I work in an industry where they are required, and where have they gotten us?
Right back in lockdown.
Where have they gotten us?
True.
Two years later, you know, or what? Sorry, they've been in power. How long have we been using the passports now? The mandates.
About 6 months.
4 months. I think maybe September they started.
Since September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are we here again? Why are we locked down? They didn't work. The passports didn't work.
Yeah.
So that's my thought.
Do you think they're here to stay?
I think in some fashion they are here to stay. Okay. I'm not sure they're going to continue to use them the way they're using them now. They don't work because they only made 8% of businesses use them. That's it. 8%.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was. 8% of us. They put it on 8%. About 35,000 businesses in Ontario had to be the one to police this. Like, that's preposterous.
Yeah.
So how does that affect how does that make anybody any safer? It should
you
be
need
an all
them to travel. You need them to go to a restaurant.
Yeah, like all or nothing here, guys. One or the other. And I'm talking like so I was just mainly the Ontario ones. Obviously, there's the federal one for travel as well. Federal one's tricky because they have a precedent with vaccination to travel. And like if you like to get yellow fever, if you're going to go to Africa or something like that. So that may be tricky, sorry, to sort of step over. But on the provincial level, if you think about it, the idea of the passport is kind of convenient. Realistic, right? If someone's benevolent going, okay, well, I'll make everything digital for you. Yeah. Your IDs, your credit cards, debits, everything, medical, make it easy. Problem is, unless you put it on something decentralized like a blockchain, it's very volatile. But the thing is, that's not why they're doing this. That's not why they're implementing them, and that's not why they're using them. Yeah. But they've already spent, federal government gave each province $1 billion to implement these programs. Yes. So they're pot committed. They're pot committed. I don't believe they will continue to use them for access to entertainment because I think that's going to blow up on people pretty soon because like Sergio said, they're ineffective. They don't work. They did nothing for us. But are they here to stay? Yes. And here's the really big problem that I have with them. I'm not going to go super deep on social credit system, but here's just a small thought. What society said was, if you're unvaccinated, you don't deserve basic rights. That's what society agreed. And the politicians enforced it. Crazy. True. Right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly, over the next few years, we're going to put your entire life on a digital passport. Not only your health records, your driver's license, your bank cards, your credit cards, did you do your taxes, blah, 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 did you vote, all this other stuff, right? Everything's slow, one thing at a time over 3 to 5 years because it's convenient, right? Now the next pandemic hits or we're shut down for some other reason, whether it's climate crisis, whatever it may be. And you are now part of the 20% that think that the government should go fuck themselves. Well, then they say, hey, society, remember when we said the people that defy us don't deserve basic rights? Yeah, we agree, they don't. Cool, we're going to press this button. And now access to your entire life is shut off. Yeah, you have no money, no ID, nothing, no health records. You can't get access to anything because they've built in a fail-safe to be able to unplug it in case someone steals your phone. Of course. Makes sense, right? A seemingly necessary feature. So I believe they're here to stay, and I believe that they're going to be used for everyday life and more nefarious purpose in the future, unfortunately.
Control.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's all about control.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we see it. It's happening right now in China. Yep. They use it, and they use it for a very wide variety of things from what I've read, like all the way to like you get into a verbal argument and with somebody at a dog park and they'll come and take your dog, or you can't get on transit.
It's insane. Bro, that's the day I die. Touch my dog. Okay. Game over.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? And so I agree with you. I don't think that the passports will last in terms of like getting into a nightclub or a bar, but they're going to be transformed into exactly all your IDs are on it, your cards, your credit score, stuff like that, which is insanity.
It will be sold based on convenience, like you said.
Yeah, well, that's how they'll swing it.
Pitch it.
Because like, listen, if I'm going to watch a fucking movie and I got to show you that I'm vaccinated, it just even sounds preposterous. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy,
or
right?
To have a sandwich or a slice.
To sit down.
Oh, you want to eat today? Do you?
Let me check that score one more time.
You can go to the local coffee shop. Yeah, you can have a coffee, but if you want to sit down, show us the papers.
Yeah. We can stand up.
Like, what? Where's that? Like, you talk about logic. Like,
this is what I'm saying.
Give me a minute here. What?
Yeah. But they've been giving us these hints this whole time.
It's the same with the masks. And you're in the coffee shop and you're standing up, make sure it's covering your nose. But if you're sitting down, you take it off.
Yeah. The air fluctuates. It's different.
The mask thing drives me insane. I can't. It's too sensitive a topic for too many people. And to be honest with you, I appreciate that you don't wear yours. Yeah. You know why I'll wear mine in a lot of situations? Yeah. It's because I look at the people. Everyone's having a tough time in society. Of course. Everyone's struggling. Of course. And everyone's going through a lot of stress. And they're not used to this level of stress. Yeah. I am. I put myself through a lot of shit. I'm cool. But most people aren't. Yeah. And when you hop in an elevator with a lady in your building and she's uncomfortable, visibly, you go, you know what? I don't need to make your life any harder than it already is. Mm-hmm. And I realize these things, these masks are doing, it's even CNN said it themselves. Yep. They're doing nothing. Yep. But if your life is already stressful enough and all I have to do is put on a mask to make your day okay, 1-to-1, I'm going to do that for you because the ROI is not there to fight back in that particular instance.
Yes.
But
you're just a nicer guy.
I was about to say, that's all it is, bro. Dude, you're a nice guy, bro. Because I haven't been wearing a mask since the beginning of this.
Right. This guy never.
Away. And like, oh man, I've gotten it's actually calmed down now in the last few months. But like right from the get-go, I was never wearing a mask. I didn't agree with it. And because right from the beginning, you had guys like Tony Fauci coming out and saying they do nothing. They just make people feel better.
Right.
So that's why I think you're a nice guy for doing that. But I've never done it, and I won't continue to. It's just not in my beliefs.
Never do it.
No,
that's great. Like, that's still positive. I'm happy with that.
No, I understand. I truly understand your point. Like you said, if you're in an elevator, let's say with an elderly woman, the last thing you want to do is add stress, and I completely understand that. But I fucking hate these guys that are putting these laws, and I think they're absolutely ridiculous. So I continue to fight that way. But what I'm curious about, what are your guys' thoughts on Montreal, Quebec? Because shit is really weird.
They're just like in fast forward.
They love to riot there too. Shit is gonna get out of hand soon.
I saw a video maybe about a week ago when they implemented. They're back on curfew. It's 10 p.m.
You can't even walk your dog.
Yeah, 10 p.m. And I saw this video of these police cars with like speakers on them, and like
it's like the purge.
It's like the purge. 10 p.m. in your houses. If you're out, you will receive a fine from $1,000 to $6,000, whatever. They did that, and then I don't know if they've implemented it. You posted it yesterday. I don't know if they've implemented it or they're about to implement it.
They're about to.
But if you're unvaccinated now, you can't buy alcohol and you can't buy cannabis. So now they're taking away even government like you know what I mean, like and
what does that mean?
I know that we aren't in Quebec, but they're our fucking neighbor. Yeah, they're our neighbors.
We're not that far behind.
So what's stopping Ontario from getting to that point? I mean, you guys may have not even known that these things were happening.
I mean, the one thing I would suggest, or one thing I would say is, Quebec is kind of its own little silo with the bloc and all that other stuff.
Fair.
And their people do have proven that they will protest and riot a lot more. They seem to have a bit more of an autocratic approach there, which they're an 8 out of 10. We're a 6 out of 10. We're not doing any better, really, in a lot of ways.
Yes.
But I also think, there you have an isolated community of people that are, sort of all cut from the same cloth. And I know that's a blanket statement because I know there's diversity there, but and I'll explain to you why I said that. Then you go to Toronto. True. This is the melting pot. This is the most multicultural city in the world. This is where, 80-90% of people that come into Canada every year, where they move, and they're all immigrants. We built our GDP off immigration since World War II, right?
Yes.
So you come, and they've all run away from a lot of real serious problems. So if you back a rabid animal into a corner, what are you going to get? And I'm a little concerned. Like, that's why I don't think Ontario will get to quite the same place. Because I know I kid that, Quebec will riot and they stand up and they protest. I think shit would really hit the fan here. Yeah. I don't think you'd have one day where they were like, curfew this time, this is what's going on, people out with sirens. I think they would lose the support of the people like that. Yeah. Gone. That's what I believe. But you know what? We've been relatively apathetic to this point, so maybe I'm wrong.
We saw when they tried to implement the police here stopping people after a certain hour and asking them for proof of vaccination to be outside, and the police were just like, we're not doing this. No. No fucking chance.
The police stood up.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Which was good. And I hope they do it more. But I agree. I don't think that'll happen. But at the same time, maybe 5-6 months ago, a year ago, I thought that if we ever got to the position we were in now, lockdown 3-4, I thought that there would be riots in the streets.
I honestly don't think we're any better.
Yeah.
We're in a...
But we haven't... Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. Why are we still wearing masks after the vaccine, after the mandates?
Yeah.
I think it's
changed.
It's purely symbolic. I think the masks, honestly, are just symbolic. I think it's just a reminder that you're under my thumb. Yeah. Pay attention. Everything's dangerous. Be scared of everything all the time. I'm like,
really do feel safe with them on.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
Well, I even say all the time, they can literally come out and say stop wearing masks, and people will still wear them.
Yes, masks are here to stay for a long time.
Oh, for sure.
Even whenever it becomes a thing that they say you don't need them anymore, it's not mandated.
Even 10 years from now, you'll still see 100%. Random people wearing them in the park.
I agree. They do that. They wear them in China a lot. This has been going on in China, and maybe I'm not sure.
All over Asia.
Yeah, I was going to say some other Asian cultures. But the thing is, they wear them from smog. They've been wearing them. They would wear them
for pollution.
And they would also wear them to signify that they were ill. I know I have some friends from Hong Kong and other parts of China, and they're like, we've been wearing them for 5-10 years because if I don't feel well and I have to leave the house, I would wear it, and people would go, you don't feel well today.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
But they did it because they wanted to.
Yeah.
And to protect.
It's a choice.
Right. Not because they were forced to.
Right.
Correct.
And that's
the choice.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That's logical to me.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, is ineffective as it may be, at least it signifies, on a regular day, everyone's like, bumper to bumper.
Yeah.
But if I'm wearing one and I'm in China and you're going, oh, you know what, I'm going to give the guy a couple feet today.
Of course.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, go
cool.
for it.
Super reasonable,
And they weren't forced to do it, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I know we were speaking about the economic, how we're going to see the real economic damage in the next few years when we finally get to open up. But I want to talk about, the damage we're going to see and the effects we're going to see on our youth. I think, of course, I'm an entrepreneur. I like to think I'm sort of a capitalist. So of course I'm always looking at the economy and trying to think about that first, but I'm also looking at the kids. I'm looking at the children,
especially the young ones,
and they're suffering. They're suffering bad, and
parents too.
I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. What are the outcomes going to be in the next few years?
Imagine being a 5-year-old right now, and the last 3
Just
years,
on Zoom for fucking 8 hours a day.
The last 3 years, you've been wearing a mask. That's all you know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know school. You don't know in school learning anymore.
Yep.
Like that's
insane.
That's a new world.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to something the other day that said that they're looking at IQ data points dropping by 20, up to 20 on young kids because there's no social interaction.
They don't know anybody.
Yeah.
No, and I can't corroborate that, but I'm listening to people that are a lot more intelligent than I am say it.
Yeah.
So I believe it. I really do. And like you said, like, what, 40% of your life you've been wearing a mask?
Yeah.
What does that do to you? What does that do with social interaction? I mean, imagine trying to be intimate with somebody.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like us, we're like, all right, cool, let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But if you grew up in this, like, hey, stay apart, don't touch, don't talk, no high fives, no hugging, no kissing, don't say what's up to your aunt even. Mom and dad are staying in other rooms.
Yep.
And then, like you said, 40% of your life you're wearing a mask. We all know we've had moments in our lives as children that shaped us today. We can see the photos in our head and we can see why it did what it did.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yes.
This is going to leave. This is a meteor that just smashed into their lives. Yeah. And we have no idea what the fallout's going to be, whether they were 3 years old when it happened, 5 years old, 7, 10. Each one of them are going to have their own, and it's all these little, it's not going to be generational. It's going to be in 1 to 2 year increments of different types of damage this caused and lifelong impacts. It's just going to be a mess.
Yeah. The sad thing is, these children are going to grow up and think that we're crazy.
Yeah, that little bit without a mask on.
Yeah.
What?
It's a whole new generation.
That's true.
That are
I didn't
coming
even think
up
about
that this is what they've been raised on.
Mm-hmm.
They've been raised on the mask. They've been raised on social distancing.
Yeah.
So they're going to look at their elders like us and think, these guys are off their chain.
Yeah, you guys are fucking insane. Yeah.
Man, I think they're getting all the kids ready for the metaverse, to be honest.
Bro.
Throw them in there. They already have no social interaction to begin with.
That's horrible.
Well, they just know a computer screen.
Yeah.
It's you know what's funny? I always thought social media was such an odd psychological experiment because I grew up without it, obviously. I'm in mid to late 30s. So for me, I'm like, okay, I remember when the internet came out, I've socialized. Like, I didn't have a cell phone until I was 18.
Yeah.
I know what it's like. And then you look at all these kids that grew up with this. They grew up with these cell phones that, don't get me wrong, love the technology. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just that it's in its infancy. So we don't understand the damage. Mm-hmm. And then you give a young boy or a young girl who, grew up with it their entire life, they're getting 1 million likes on something, right? Yeah. But it's not really who they are. It's who they want you to think they are. Yeah. But now, in the real world, they got to try to be that person.
Yes.
It's too hard.
So you can't be perfect, bro.
No,
I'm a fucking train wreck. Get out of here, man. You should see my outtakes on these videos. They're hilarious. Just a string of swear words. So it's like, you know what I mean? You don't get everything right all the time. You get the opportunity to edit it and show people your final product.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to cause psychological damage when these kids tried to enter the real world, which it has. They won't make phone calls. They're socially awkward a lot of times. Yeah. It just is what it is. Yeah. And then you throw this on top. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I was watching a video on the metaverse actually, and they were showing like how they were doing like some marketing around it and how you can shake people's hand, right? And they're like, see, like, this is something you couldn't do. Yeah, or playing. That was the video, right?
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Zuckerberg. Yeah.
And they're just like, shaking hands, like you weren't able to do this in COVID. Like they're saying that kind of stuff.
That's
so that
fucked.
Yeah, that is so.
So it's like, wait, you're trying to say just transform all my physical onto online, and now I can shake someone's hand, and now it's okay because of COVID.
Well,
that's insane.
It's like he's saying, we're kind of already there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, majority of people's interactions, especially over the last 2 years, has just been through the cell phone.
Yeah.
Cell phones, Zoom call meetings are Zooms. People are, even a lot of podcasts, people are doing Zooms. Like, people have stopped.
Lacks intimacy. It's just
yes.
But even like you said, like people are not usually their genuine self online. They're being someone that they want to be or something like that. Yeah. So
now there's the
some
pressure.
of these people might not be able to match that in real life at all.
No
and just say,
chance.
yo, I'm just online. Catch me online.
Yeah, bro.
Catch me in the meta, bro. Like, that's it. I'll wake up, hop on, and then go to bed after.
It's like we're saying.
It's a sad reality.
It's a very sad reality. We see it even with Twitch. I'm sure you guys are familiar with what Twitch is. These guys are streaming, 14, 16 hours a day. Yeah. Wake up, eat breakfast on your stream for 16 hours, get off, go to sleep.
They live a life in the game.
Wake back up, stream
That's
again.
wild.
That's crazy to me.
It's like a Sims, like Sims meets Grand Theft Auto kind of thing, and like they're just all day.
I'm not on Twitch, so I
I'm
wouldn't
not
know.
either.
But
PlayStation.
Go
was
check
the
it
last
out.
one. As soon as they added 2 little sticks, I was like, whoa, I'm out.
It's too much.
As soon
It's
as
crazy.
that was the end of the
Well,
story,
and
man.
the majority of them are all like under 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like you see these kids and they're all like 13, 14, and they're making fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
the thing.
some of the
They're
millions, bro.
incentivizing them. They're
course.
incentivizing them heavily to just sit in front of that computer, got that camera on them with the mic, and just rip video games all day.
That's wild.
14, 16, 18 hours. It's not even an exaggeration. That's what they're doing.
So the timing of this now with the children not being in school, or when they are in school, they're just on a computer, is like, man, like this is not looking good.
And to me, it all seems a little too convenient. But
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to find a balance, like anything. Like humans are funny in the sense that we go extreme one way, extreme the other, and we find some balance. Yeah. We will find some balance somehow, some way, because even if half your population is going to be plugged into the metaverse, the other half's got to run the machines.
It's true.
So we will find a way, and we will find some balance. Right now, it's extreme in that sense, but we are at extreme times. So you're going to see some really bad fallout. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing to watch and monitor. And you think about places like, I think it was Sweden, that's basically like, fuck this thing doesn't exist. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or people from Florida versus people that are in Ontario. Yeah. So you can go to these little pockets of different parts of the world, and you're going to see dramatically different results as well.
Yes. Sure.
But it is going to be a really interesting 3 to 5 to see this all play out.
I agree. I think our next 10 years are going to be, no one is ready for what we're about to see in the next 10 years. I don't think anybody can predict it. Everyone will have their thoughts and whatever, but no way you can predict what we're going to see in the next 10 years from so many different levels. But hey, interesting 10 years. And Serge, like we were saying on the last podcast, when these times happen, there is also a lot of opportunity.
That's right.
Agreed.
So who are you going to be? You going to be the person that sits and cries in the metaverse? Or are you going to say, hey, there's opportunity here. I just got to go out and find it.
There's a lot of opportunity in the real world.
Yes.
And you should take advantage of that.
I agree. Totally.
Yep. 100%.
Boys, I got some questions from the DMs.
Let's hear it.
Okay, we got one. Stessie from Montreal. She wants to know, why does this have to be left versus right? Why can't this just be about common sense guiding us together? I think we answered that. But
I think there's a lot of common sense out there, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think you even mentioned like it's past left than right now. Like,
yeah, I think the big thing is whoever's in power, yes, it is past left and right. It is sort of illogical. But again, when you overlay politics on something that's supposed to be objective, it becomes objective becomes subjective, becomes dogmatic. So it's just the unfortunate overlay of politics that made this a big issue. Each side chose how they feel about one thing or the other, and they flip-flop. I mean, let's be realistic. Look at what was happening when Trump was in power. Now look what's happening when Biden's in power. Yep. Same shit, different dog.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
True. Very true. Very true.
Okay, this is for you, Jonathan, from our boy Richard. Check out Richard. Is work-life balance a real thing? How do you stay committed to the hustle? I mean, both of you can answer this.
Go for it.
Sure. Work-life balance, it depends what you want out of life. If you want to be great, you have to be extreme. That's it. But the thing is, that's the balance you chose, so you're happy about it. Yeah. I don't look for balance in my life because I want to be great at everything that I do. And I'm not, and I fail, but I found my way to being better every time that I try. If you want a balanced life, wait until you're 65, 70. Start, man. Like you're like I said, your life is a book full of different chapters.
Yeah.
When you're 6 years old, you play on the playground. When you're 12 years old, you chase girls. If you're like me, you know what I mean. Yeah. And when you're 16, you play
12,
sports.
Holy.
Yeah, I'm busy. I didn't really have a cootie phase. I was like, let's do this. So you know what I mean. And then as you get older, your every chapter is a new version of who you are. Your goals and your passions, your interests are different. I'm in my 30s, like I said, so I'm a very extreme driven entrepreneur. That's what I'm going to do. And then, maybe when I'm 50, maybe I'll turn to politics. Maybe I'll play on the senior PGA tour. I don't know yet. You know what I mean? So, maybe I'll just be writing books at that point. Mm-hmm. But that's when you look at finding more balance. At this time in your life, ambition is a fire. Eventually it burns out. When you have it, use it as much as you possibly can and don't worry about balance.
I like that. Serge?
For me, work is my life. I'm passionate about it. So whatever you do, make sure that you are passionate about it as well, that you love what you do. And, you know, there's that whole saying that if you do what you love, it isn't work.
Yeah.
You know, find that, you know, special routine you have every day and enjoy waking up and enjoy doing what you do and intertwine it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone loves work more than you, Serge. I love it, man.
I love it.
I see you hustling every day, bro.
I love to work. I love my routine. I love making new routines, and that's the key.
Yeah,
the voice of the people.
Yeah, love it.
Another one from Richard. What were the safest industries during COVID that weren't disrupted or increased in revenue?
I would say real estate.
Real estate, right away.
Real estate killed it.
Right?
Everybody needs a place to live. A lot of people were getting evicted.
Yep.
A lot of people needed a new place to live, and a lot of people did thrive.
Yeah. It was very disproportionate, but a lot of people did thrive. I mean, the top 50 companies in Canada increased their profits by 50%. They made it.
Wow.
Made it's some. I'm gonna forget the number exactly, but like $13.4 billion in additional profits. The top 50 people in Canada's wealth increased by 40%.
Yep.
So it was dramatically disproportionate, but a lot of them I would say were fulfillment, warehousing, real estate, groceries, stuff like that, like essential service, essential things. Yeah, construction.
The film and movie industry killed it.
Gangbusters.
Netflix. Everybody was glued to their televisions.
Yeah. The people that really got like badly rinsed is really entertainment got crushed. Entertainment, small hospitality, business. Small business. Yeah.
Small businesses were destroyed.
Unfortunately.
Which are the backbone of our economy. Yeah. Let's make that straight.
Like, I guess if I was going to give more advice on that, what I would say is try to pick things now that are going to be a little more COVID recession proof for yourself. So for me over the next year, a couple things that I'm building systems for are very much in the NFT and e-commerce world.
Yeah.
Globalized. Don't have to worry about it. The NFT market, it's going to have its ups and downs, but the long game on that is super fat. So jump in, start building 5 plexes this year. The reason I'm not building 4 and building 5 is because it's commercial, not residential. So you don't have to worry about warranties on your buildings. So as soon as you build one, you leverage it. And you build one with cash. Let's just say you have the cash.
Yeah.
You build one, you leverage it. That's tax free. So you defer your taxes to the government and you continue building your assets. You just copy paste, continue doing it over and over again. You do things like that. You build a good system and things that are going to be recession proof. When this happens again, you're in pretty good shape.
Nice.
Agreed.
Okay. Last one. If deciding to leave Canada, where else?
I'm not leaving Canada. I love it. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to make a mark.
Yes.
And continue to do what I do on my own terms.
Yeah.
I want to say I think you've already done that.
Yeah, you've been doing that.
Congrats on that because you really left the mark, especially on the city. So
I'm not moving anywhere else just because other people are doing it. It goes with that whole saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. There's problems everywhere.
Yeah.
There's going to be hurdles everywhere. You have to put your stamp down where you live, whether it be in Toronto or a small town or New York or LA or Europe. Make your mark wherever you are. It's not going to be better somewhere else. It might be sunnier, but you're still going to have the same problems.
Yes.
And if you don't have those same problems, you're going to have new problems. And you can't keep running.
You can't run. You can't hide.
John, you said you're not going anywhere, eh?
Wow. I don't
change back and forth.
I honestly flip-flop. And it's just... The tough thing is, as soon as you decide to kind of build your roots, then you stay there. You're going to stick around. It depends on a few things. One thing is telling me if I stay here, I'd get into politics just to try to fix the system. But obviously, that's a very loveless, very, very low pay, just not really worth it kind of job. But sometimes you have to get up.
Do it on the side.
Yeah.
Still do better than them.
Yeah, it's
great.
I appreciate that. It's something that I've considered. So if I stick around, that may be something I do. I guess it's like Sergio said, the grass is greener wherever the fuck you water it. Yeah. So
true.
So where are you going to stay? Where are you going to set up shop? People are looking to run away from this. You're not going to run away from your own personal problems. There's no utopia right now, like we said. So if you want to go somewhere warm, go to Florida, go to Texas. Cool, no worries. You want to go.
When I say don't run away, if you want to travel.
Yeah.
If you want to live somewhere else, generally want to live somewhere else, do it on your own terms.
Yeah.
Don't do it because of COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't do it because, shit has hit the fan here. Do it because you truly want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree
with that totally. Yeah, 100%. I think if you are going to go somewhere, you have to think about what that place, make a checklist, figure out all the things that you need from a place, healthcare, economics, politics, just everything, like don't go live on a small island if you want to be a thriving entrepreneur, because there's not going to be, the economy's not going to be there for you. You know what I mean? So, I would think about it that way, but I think Sergio put it best. Don't do it to run away. Do it because you want to.
Yeah.
And make sure, throw your arrow, don't dodge it.
That's great.
Damn. I like that.
Bangers, eh?
Holy
shit. Give him the question. Give John the question, bro.
Okay, Serge, we've gotten this answer from you before. I think twice already on this show. We won't make you say it for the third time. But Jonathan, we are the MBH Podcast. Money buys happiness. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, here's the reality. We're all playing a game of Monopoly.
Yep.
Whether people like it or not. When I was a young kid, I was like, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then I was like 24. I'm like, fuck. This is a board game. I didn't get to set up the rules. I'm just here to roll the dice. So unfortunately, we are part of an economic system, capitalism, and all these other little things that go with it, bad taxes, all sorts of crap. You need money to survive. You need money to satisfy Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Right. Yes.
See, if you want to self-actualize and be the best version of yourself, you need a few bucks. You do. And then you have to decide what that looks like. You have to know what your success looks like. Is it $1 billion? Is it 100 million? Is it 10 million? Is it $1 million? What is it? Is it just being able to pay your bills? I think money buys you happiness as long as you know how much money you need to be happy. I think money buys you happiness if you have the self-awareness and the wherewithal to go out and chase it and be able to get there, And I think one caveat, though, is if you don't make money out of the gates, you don't have money when you're young, that's part of the process.
Yes.
Don't make yourself unhappy. Falling down on your face, getting punched in the face, tripping and falling, all that other stuff, that's part of the journey. That's not having any money is what creates drive and ambition and creates you're hungry, you want to win. So, I mean, we're a part of a system where money does buy you happiness.
Yeah, you really do need that hunger. And money will buy you happiness as long as you don't let it control you or destroy you.
I agree. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Now, don't get me wrong. There's an internal component to being happy, of course. Yeah. Money doesn't solve all of your problems. It just solves like 85% of them.
Yeah. And I'm happy with that.
Which is closer to 90%. I'm happy with that.
Me too. I'm definitely happy with that. Yeah. Oh, great answer. Totally agree. I'm curious. I mean, I think I know your answer, but what's your number?
Yeah, I want to make $1 billion.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah,
stamp it.
It just doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah,
it's just stupid. You know why I want to make $1 billion? It's not really about the money as much. I'd give most of it away. I don't really care about it. It's having a goalpost to work towards, but it changes the way you think. I'm not doing anything right now that's going to make me $1 billion, and I know that. Doesn't matter how many restaurants I build. It's not going to happen. So then I have to evolve my thinking. Okay. I have evolved my thought process so much since making that goal to now being like, okay, what makes sense? You need to build good systems. So like if you can scale real estate, that idea that I gave you can make you $100 million in 10 years. No problem with the same $2 million. NFTs and e-com, that's a system. So now I'm like, okay, if you get the system down, you can drop anything in there and you can scale it with less of your time. And then you think about other things. Okay, COVID killed everything. So now what would you be a part of for business? Commodities and real estate. Yeah. So that type of thinking allows you to get outside of the box you're currently in. And it also stops you from sweating the small stuff. You lose 10 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand, business fails, whatever. You go, I'm trying to make $1 billion, not $1 million. I don't give a shit about this.
So true, man.
And
you
also keep your foot on the gas. It's like Parkinson's law. You'll take as much time as you're given to complete a task. If you want to make $10 million in 20 years, think about your pace. If you want to make $1 billion in 20 years, now think about your pace.
Yeah, much different. Yeah, you change your way of thinking. I agree with that. I think even for us, when we started this business, it was the first 100,000, then it was beyond, and it was beyond. And every time you stretch that goal, your way of getting there and your thinking completely changes.
Absolutely.
But that's the fun of it.
Yes.
Right? That's what keeps guys like us hungry. That's what keeps us moving. That's what keeps you excited. Yes, 100%. Boys, won't keep you guys any longer. I know you guys are fucking busy dudes. Appreciate you guys coming out.
Thank you.
A big chat. I think people are going to take a lot of value from this, especially just because of the situation we're in. But again, appreciate you guys coming out, and hope to have you guys both back again.
I'll be back.
Yeah, thanks for having me, brother. I'm here anytime, man. I want a big T-shirt. I want one of those sweaters, man. And we're good.
No, we got you. We'll see you in the metaverse. No? Next lockdown. We'll have another chat.
But on that note, Dean,
we're out.